You are now listening to the greatest show in the universe.
Hey man, this is Tommy Chong, and right now you're listening to the Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, this is Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, and you're listening to the Anthony Rogers Show.
The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean Danielson from Smile Empty Soul, and you are listening to the Anthony Rogers Show.
The Anthony Rogers Show.
Brian Vanderek from the Verb Pipe here, and you're listening to the Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, this is James Jude Courtney, Michael Myers, a.k.a. The Shape, in Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and the soon-to-be-released Halloween Ends. And this is the Anthony Rogers Show.
Use the beard oil all the witches are talking about this Halloween. Luxurious Bastard Beard Co. Use promo code LEGENDARY for a discount. Link in description.
Welcome back to the single greatest show that's ever existed. How are you doing? It's not
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Just talking to my cell phone in the garage.
I love doing that. That's one of my favorite pastimes.
It's less.
Go into a small,
less
condensed space and speak to myself.
that's what I was in the middle of doing before the show started. So we have a big episode today with some ghost stories. So hope you guys are scared or whatever terminology. I had nothing. Thanks for the pumpkin bomb from Hemper Bongs. I appreciate the pumpkin bomb.
Oh yeah.
Doing this Halloween season right. First, we're gonna have Becky up. She's gonna tell one of her ghost stories.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Hey.
Will you always for this?
All right. Well, I guess I should just get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. so glad this was scripted. So, I mean, my story, really just comes from a local place that we have here in St. Louis called the Limp Mansion. I went with a couple of friends one night to do a ghost tour. So, kind of sets the mood. Late at night, it was October. We had dinner there, nothing suspicious happening. We're walking around and not seeing anything. We're making jokes. Now, you got to understand, when I'm going into this, I'm a skeptic, okay?
Right.
At this time, I was a full-blown atheist, did not believe in anything. You don't show me, I can't see it, I can't touch it, then it's not real, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around the Limp Mansion, and it's a joke to me, and I'm making jokes, and we're not seeing anything.
You start heckling the ghost. They're like, okay, for sure, bro.
Pretty much. So we get up to the second floor, and we're in the main bedroom, the master bedroom. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's a nice touch. They added in some costumed actors. I saw a woman wearing just a white dress walk past, a couple of folks, just standing and listening to the person. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I almost said something like, oh, hey, it's great that you guys added in these costumed actors. But I said nothing, I'm listening. Well, then it gets to the storytellers, the ghost tour lady. She's telling us about how that room is known for seeing what's called the woman in white.
Oh, shit. Of course.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, great. Costumed actors. You guys had it straight on. I'm really excited about it. And we're leaving that room. I'm kind of looking around for this woman who, I saw a costume because I just wanted to say, hey, nice touch, great, I don't see her anywhere in the group. There's not really anywhere that she could have gone without us hearing her or seeing her, disappear. I don't see her.
Damn.
So I kind of go to the ghost tour, the ghost guide, and I'm like, hey, do you have costumed actors on this? No, we don't. I'm like, great, cool. I'm a complete skeptic. I don't believe in any of this. So yeah, I'm sure you don't have anybody. We're headed up to the attic, and I don't know if those who are listening, they've been on this ghost tour. I fully recommend the Limp Mansion. Great ghost tour. They take us up in small groups to the attic. And in the attic, that's where they're going to shut down the lights, right? Kind of creepy. You get up there, it's a really small space. There's a bedroom up there. and they kind of line us all up against the wall. Well, behind us, there's an attic crawl space, so we're all a little bit creeped out anyway. You know,
Oh,
this creepy
God.
room. They turn off the lights, and the ghost guide is talking. She says, "Oh, we normally see a ghost dog," and she's really talking about this dog and going on and on. And all of a sudden, my boyfriend pulls me over right in front of him, and he whispers in my ear, "Look down the hallway."
Oh, God.
The hairs on the back of my neck stood up.
Oh,
I looked down the hallway, and that's the only part of the attic that is lit up. Now we're in this room. You can see, you know, kind of through the door straight down the hallway. And there is standing in the hallway a shadow of a man, just a shadow, bowler hat. And I am just like frozen in terror. I know everybody's been through that before where you're just like still. The man starts walking down the hallway, and I let out a little bit of a, you know, a eek, a little screech.
wow.
And I lose sight of him. But I could see kind of the shadow in my peripheral go past the doorway into the other doorway, the attic doorway. When I eeked, the ghost guide was like, "Well, you know, what did you see?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm not telling any of you guys this. I don't want to cause mass hysteria. If I tell somebody, they're going to say, 'Oh yeah, you know, we saw it too.'" And my boyfriend whispers in my ear, he goes, "You saw the man, the shadow." And I was like, yeah, I did. So he described to me exactly what I saw, because I would have chalked it up to, okay, wait a second, my mind's playing tricks on me.
Right.
But when somebody else
sees
can
it.
describe,
But what's funny is we almost like question our own reality when that happens, because it's so like, but it's like, you think about it, has your mind ever played tricks on you like that before, where you just saw a fucking person that wasn't there? You know what I mean?
not wide awake. You know, going to sleep, yeah, you have those things where you can't move, and you know, you see shadows and stuff. But this was wide awake. We'd been walking around, so this was
can't deny that shit, especially when someone else sees it.
Now it wasn't like a scary, eerie feeling. It was more the house was a really sad feeling. So it wasn't like, oh gosh, this is a scary ghost, I need to run away. It was just it was very sad, you know. And when you learn the story of the Limp family, it is a very sad story. So
yeah, I think that's how you can kind of tell the difference between like the energy of the. Because I was actually just about to ask you, like, how did you feel when you saw it? Because like, depending on the energy of the being, like, it doesn't really matter what it is it looks like. It's more like, for me personally, it's based on the feeling I get when I see it. Like, what feeling comes up that kind of gives me an idea of like what kind of energy I'm dealing with. You know?
Yeah. This was a very sad energy. It wasn't, you know, benevolent. I cannot talk today. Benevolent. You guys know the word I'm trying to say, right?
Vanilla?
No. It wasn't a scary feeling. It wasn't like a deep dread.
Malevolent.
Neither of us can say it now. Yes, that is it right there.
One of them's good, one of them's bad. I don't fucking know.
You know, the feeling that you get. We did a ghost tour at the penitentiary, the state penitentiary, and that was a different
feeling.
Air.
I was probably
it was a very thick. No, I didn't. It was no, I didn't see anything there.
Yeah,
but Limp Mansion, that was just sad, for sure.
Ooh. So there was also a tour. Was this at the same like place? Like
so Limp Mansion. Yeah, so the Limp Mansion is in St. Louis, and then the state penitentiary is in Jefferson City, Missouri. Okay. So
yeah, I've been to the prison, but I have not been to the Limp Mansion. Like I heard, I've been to the brewery part. There's like a lot of like bands practice there and stuff, and it seems kind of fucking eerie. That's crazy. You like saw. So did you see the people that like killed themselves there or something? Was that the story?
So you know, I couldn't tell you who it was that I saw, because I saw a woman who looked human walk past in white. And
would you recognize her if you saw her again?
Probably if I saw a picture, but again, I only saw her profile, and it was like from the other room.
Because only one lady killed herself there, I believe. I think there's a story of like one of the heirs, like she was like heir to that brewery fortune,
Yeah.
I want to say she was like the third person to kill herself or something. There's like I don't know the exact story, but I'm paraphrasing.
Well, I think you're right, and I think that there was another woman who died at another property who they believe also haunts the Lemp Mansion, who is a sister.
Okay, that's wild. That's a wild story. That's something to look into if you've watched this at home and you haven't heard that story. The Lemp Mansion is a very interesting kind of story, and like it's kind of St. Louis folklore. I think people from around St. Louis kind of know it, but I think like I would say out of the 2,200 people seeing this, maybe a lot of them may not have heard of it yet. So.
Do you think that's why her ghost is still there? Because I feel like the only time I've noticed, especially when I watch ghost like TV shows and stuff, is like the only time the spirit or there's like an anomaly still there is when they died in a traumatic way, or like they died in a way that didn't really allow them to pass to the other side, or otherwise wouldn't there be ghosts everywhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Unfinished Business I heard too, like some shit like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of tragedy and suicide just surrounding that family as far as losses and sudden deaths between disease and suicide. So I would imagine that would be, if there are ghosts there, and that's what I saw, I would imagine that's why, just the trauma surrounding the entire family.
Yeah. That's kind of fucked. You think about it, like this life wasn't traumatic enough.
Let me just stay here in this house that caused me this trauma. Yeah.
Like you're stuck in a fucking house for eternity, and people are just like, "Ooh, look at that!" Like you're like some sort of zoo animal.
Yeah. And like I said, when I went through it, I was a complete skeptic. I didn't believe in it. Didn't believe in anything. Actually, the crazy part is, after I had that experience, I was like, I'm going to church.
Oh my God.
I went to church.
Yeah, you were an atheist. You used to be an atheist.
I was an atheist. I went to church that very next day, but the insane part is the sermon at church was about the prodigal son coming home.
Oh, interesting.
So it was just like, wow, I had that experience, and then
there was like weird synchronicities.
Yeah. So I wonder, if there was a reason why I saw that.
Interesting. I feel like things always happen for a reason, especially like spiritual things. Like,
definitely.
Like even in the moment when you can't explain it, like you later look back and you're like, oh my God, this is why this happened, or this is why I had this feeling, this is why I saw this thing. Like there's a higher purpose to it.
Yeah, and I always tell people, be a skeptic when you go into those things. Be a skeptic, because I feel like that's when you're going to see something, is when you don't believe it. When you're looking for it, you're not going to see it,
Damn, that's like anything though. It's like kind of the law of attraction when you're like focusing too much on something, like you push it away. Like one thing to be open to it and then be like, okay, if it happens, whatever. But if you're like fixated on finding it, then it's like that's when.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
That's a good point. Well, no, that's nuts. I mean, I didn't like. So how long ago was this?
This was actually October 2019.
2019. Okay. That's crazy. So the Lord got you before that fake COVID disaster. That's good. Like he swooped you up before the right in time for revelation.
Right in time for all the craziness to pop off and the government to spread lies. As they continue to do.
Wow. Yeah.
So
interesting. Dude, so how do you feel like your perception has changed, like just of your perception of reality compared to like how you viewed things back then to like how you view things now?
Great question.
So really good question. So I would say that, before I viewed things as, I knew everything. And now I feel more like a child, and I'm willing to learn and be pointed into the right direction. Again, as Anthony said, by the Lord, though, there's other forces that are out there that I've seen, since I've been more open to it. So you got to be careful where your sources of truth are coming from, for sure.
It's
definitely feel more like a child.
Like, there's this metaphor where it's like you can't fill a cup that's already full.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you can't learn new things if you're so convinced Just like the scientist we had on who was like total atheist. And like I asked him like, what was the most interesting thing you learned being a scientist? And he's like, basically explaining to me God, right? He's like, there's this energy we can't explain that controls everything and we don't understand it. And I'm like, so is that God? He's like, oh, definitely not. No, not at all. And he was just so convinced that like there wasn't anything else. He's like, I think we want to think life is more meaningful than it is, but it's just not. I'm like, that is a dark way of looking at reality.
You know-
Like, who the fuck are you to say you know like what is and what isn't? Like it's kind of like
That's really, I know what
it's just egotistical and almost naive to
It
really
is.
think that like we have any idea what the fuck is actually going on. Like compared
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
how small we are, we're just like ants on a fucking flying
Mhm.
meteor through space. Like we don't know what the fuck's really going on.
No, it's so true, you know, and I would have called myself, you know, a child of science, and I studied science and I studied history pretty hardcore. And the more and more that I do study it, I realize that the less and less that we know for sure.
Yeah,
And we just
for
kind
sure.
of we put in these theories or these hypotheses to make up the rest, you know. So
Definitely.
take it for what it is.
I'm gonna have you leave on that if you and if it's not too much to ask, like we'll have you back at the end of the show with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, thank you. That was Becky. I've known her for about 10 years, and I'd never heard that story actually. I've known her.
Wow, that's awesome. Hell yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, it's a good friend of mine. So up next, this is Nikki Serendi. She's like a local model here. She said 2 stories with demons, and I thought that was like
Ooh, okay.
compared to that. So it's like kind of it's kind of wild. So how you doing, Nikki?
Hey, what's up?
It's weird having 2 Nikki because now I can't say like one. It was like, all right, so you can't tell I'm talking to you because both you have the same name now. It's like confusing me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, because there's 2 of us, right?
So no, your story though. You were saying that you this is an experience you had personally with demons. You're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in demons, and what most people think are ghosts, I believe are demons. I'm a Christian, so that's how I view it. And before I get into the specific stories, I do believe that discerning of spirits is like one of my main gifts. Like sometimes I can just walk into a room and be like, oh, like I've walked out of places because I could just sense them so strong. Like
Yeah.
I've literally left places and I will
actually
not go
experienced the
back
same
in them
thing.
again. And
It's an uncomfortable energy. It's like
yeah,
especially if you have gifts, it's almost like they know you have gifts and they go out of their way to like fuck with you.
right.
Like for real. Like,
And I did have some. Well, I have 2 specific stories that happened to me personally. I mean, I sense them quite often, but as far as like the more intense stuff goes, so back in actually September of 2020, for a few weeks straight, every single morning I was being startled awake between like 1 to 3 a.m. I was
during the
startled
witching
awake
hour
by
for sure.
something that was like in my room, and I would see things, I would hear things, I would see like shadows. And at first I was scared, but then I started thinking through it like, okay, I know what this is. These are demons, and this is what the Bible says about this. I'm not supposed to be scared because we have authority over them.
Yeah.
So then I would pray, and then it would go away. And even the sense that I get, knowing that they're there, went away. And this went on for several weeks straight, every single morning. Each time I was a little less scared because I was like, okay, I know what this is. I know how to deal with it. And I even saw like a face floating in my room, like
oh, I've seen that
like
before.
a fake, like what looked like a human head. Finally,
Sorry.
after a few weeks, you're good. After a few weeks of this going on, one of the times I got startled awake, just Jesus came out of my mouth. And like it wasn't me saying it. It was like there was an angel that just forced me to say Jesus, and
You were
then
like channeling it.
completely went away.
Yeah.
It all went away. And after that, like I started praying for this whole thing to stop, just to stop being startled awake. And then it stopped. It all stopped after I said Jesus out loud, and after I prayed for it to stop. So that was really amazing. I really value sleep. Clearly God values the quality of my sleep too.
No.
And then another story. It's sort of someone else's story, and I kind of stepped into it. I was hanging out with some friends at our friend's apartment, and he kept telling us about how like all this ghost activity was going on. Like, he would hear his like dead relatives talking to him, and like there were like words written in blood in the snow or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? No. So I just prayed over his entire apartment, and I got an update from him later, and all that stuff stopped. I was like,
Nice.
these aren't ghosts you're dealing with, these are demons. This is how you deal with it.
They act
And
differently.
it went away.
For sure. I feel like demons play more mind games with people, and they're feeding off of fear. And so there's always going to be like this sense of like, I don't know, the energy is just negative, or like you can't tell like you're being mind fucked, or like, you know what I mean? Compared to like,
Yeah,
I feel
and
like when the spirit of a person's actually communicating with me, it feels it's a totally different kind of interaction.
And like when you have like a lot of tension or like strife with somebody, like if my boyfriend and I are arguing or whatever, like we can sense like something's kind of pushing us
Like
to
you're feeding
argue
off
with
of it.
each
Yeah,
other
totally.
and fight. And as soon as one of us points it out, like we notice it start to go away. And it's because demons are scared of us, like recognizing what they're actually doing.
Right.
So they they flee. It's like, you know.
Well, it takes away the power.
Yep.
Literally, if you point it out and you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is like some parasite, like,
yeah,
fucking with our head. Like, okay, like, go away.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, okay, fine, fuck.
Yeah, and they have to. I mean, according to the Bible, like they have to go if you command them in Jesus' name to go. So that's what happened.
Wow, that's crazy. So you feel energies like this on a regular basis? Like when you go, like wherever you go, you kind of like feel that?
I don't know if I would say super regularly. There are certain types of places that that it's like strong enough that I'm like, okay, I know what that is.
You're like,
I
I
don't
need to
want
get the
be
fuck
here.
out of here.
Yeah, like there
Yeah.
was like a particular bar in St. Louis, and I just walked in and I'm like, no. Like it was so
Nope.
strong, it was everywhere. And
You're like,
like,
not today, Satan.
yeah. And like I was at an event recently with a girl, and I felt that the whole time that I was hanging out with her. And I'm like, okay, I know I shouldn't be here with her. Like, I can sense it.
Yeah.
But at the time, because I gave her a ride, I didn't really have anything I could do. And then later I found out she was very shady and using me, and
Ooh.
a
You
lot
think
of bad
she
stuff.
had an attachment, a demon attachment?
Do what?
You think she had a demon attachment?
I don't know exactly how all that stuff works, but I do think that demons drive people to be that way. So I think I sense those things.
It's like they're channeling. You know how people can channel the divine? I feel like people who have similar abilities can unknowingly be channeling lower like vibrational entities, depending on like what kind of things they're participating in, like if they're doing drugs or if they're stealing or they're just doing like sinful, what you I guess consider like sinful shit. I feel like opens you up more to being, I guess not fully possessed, but like influenced by demons, you know?
Yeah, and it's crazy because someone close to me was warned by God about her, and we were like trying to figure out why, like what is it about her that like we're being warned about. And I guess it kind of came out. I mean, I still don't totally know what the deal is, but she's definitely someone I should not be around.
Damn.
And I just like, even the next day, like it'll linger too. Like the next day after that, going to that event with her, I felt so gross. It was like it was all over me.
The negative energy was like in your aura.
My boyfriend prayed with me, and like some of it lifted, and throughout the day it pretty much went away. But I'm like, I just feel it so strong sometimes, I guess. Like I'm just like really sensitive spiritually, I guess, in that way at least. That yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna mess around with stuff that makes me feel that way, because it just feels so gross.
You should use like Palo Santo or sage to cleanse your aura. Like I'm super sensitive to energy myself, and so every day, like I burn so much incense because it just like cleanses. Because like even just simple interactions, like I'll just pick up energy that's not mine, and I'll feel some type of way about it. But I feel like sometimes like when my intuition doesn't make sense, like I know this might sound weird, but like I've just started listening to my gut more and more, even if it makes no absolute sense. Like if I
Yeah.
feel a certain way, if I feel off, even though there's no evidence for me to feel off, I'll still listen to it because it's always right. You know,
Yeah.
whether I understand it or not, like it always ends up being like right. And I'm like, oh, I should have listened. But
Right.
in my head, I'm
I
like, don't want to believe it. I'm like, no, but this person's so cool. Like,
right.
what? Like,
I personally don't believe in like burning sage and stuff like that, but I definitely agree with the listening to your own gut too. Cause like, oh my gosh, literally today, oh my gosh. So my friend was trying to get me to go to Mexico, and I basically had to make a decision right away. I just ended up deciding yes, but they needed a picture of my passport right away. Like right to get the deal they were going for, they needed the picture now. I was like, I bought that passport 5.5 years ago. I don't know well, I thought I knew where it was. I looked through the spot I thought it was, did not find it. Tore my whole room apart for hours trying to find it. And my boyfriend kept saying, just stay calm, be at peace. Like if you're supposed to find it, you'll find it or whatever. And just a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. They were like, we need that picture. We need a picture of that passport. And I was freaking out, couldn't find it anywhere. I kept going through that same pile. My boyfriend was praying for me.
oh,
He said he prayed that I would find, he felt like he was supposed to pray that I would find it in the obvious place. 5 minutes later, I found it in the place that I swore that was where I put it 5.5 years ago. But this time, like after he prayed that, I was like looking more closely, and it was inside of something. So I'd been going through all these papers, didn't see it, but it was like inside of something else that I didn't recognize. So
wow.
And I had listened, like I guess even though I was stressed, I was like at peace just enough that I could listen and like be spiritually in tune to hear, look closer and look inside that envelope. And there it was, because they were about to buy those tickets, and if I didn't have my passport picture,
wow, that's crazy.
I
It really
would
does work. I do feel like we have angels with us all the time that are like kind of nudging us in the right direction, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
That's crazy because the next guest is actually talking about angels. So it's,
really?
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
That was like the best segue of all time, like naturally, like, without even like planning. It's like he's saying in like a chat. But yeah, Nikki, if you'd like, we'd like to have you at the end too. We'll probably have everybody back. So if you're interested, thank you for telling that. That's, I mean, it takes a lot of courage to tell stories like that. I think a lot of people have experiences like that personally, but I think not many people have the courage to talk about that on a cell phone podcast. You know, like, I just feel like that's a lot of courage. So thank you. I appreciate that. And we'll have you back.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to share. I'm a big believer in truth, and if I believe that the truth is that it's demons, not ghosts, so I'm happy to share that. Because
I mean, I think demons are very real. I think people need to remember that. And like a lot.
Yeah. Well, when you're communicating with the spiritual realm, it really is hard to discern what it is you're communicating with, which is kind of what that one guy, the demon guy, was saying. That was on that one time.
Yeah,
but I think it's, I think not all of them are demons, but like, you know, not knowing leaves it very open to interpretation of really not knowing who it is you're opening up to. Spiritually, you know?
Yeah, and that's why it's dangerous to mess with like Ouija boards and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like
those definitely summon demons. 100%.
Like
portals, yeah, too.
Like,
the Ouija board is not the way to go.
Yeah, like, do you want to do you want the second part of like my second story I told? Like real quick, or are we out of time?
Let's do that. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I think we're on a vibe. Yeah, go ahead with that.
I can be real quick. So
Yeah.
the guy whose apartment I prayed over, and like all that stuff stopped happening. After a while, it started happening again, and he told me, and I'm like, okay, here's what you do, and here's what they are, and he's like, no, it's definitely my dead relatives, and I'm like, I gotta talk to them. I'm like, you can't. It's not gonna stop if you entertain these things. You're basically giving them an open door to continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it went away when I did my thing, and then now it's continuing because he's like interacting with them or whatever. It's like, yo, listen, like you saw it work.
Yeah.
That's all. That's just the second part.
No, it's no. Okay, that's crazy. We'll have you back at the end. We have like Steve on. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Yeah, like I've never heard that story. That was interesting. But yeah, up next, and we're gonna have Steve. He's gonna talk about like angels, which is interesting too. Yeah, how you doing, brother? Thanks for so.
Hi. Is there a duck in the background?
I can't hear what he's saying. Yeah.
Uh-oh. The mic. I think your mic is messed up because I can't. I'm just hearing like random squeaking noises, like a rubber ducky.
Which is weird because we're talking about angels too. Like, isn't that weird?
Interesting. You think it's interference from something?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's weird because like when you want to talk about angels, like it's like,
maybe. Can you
try your phone.
restart your camera?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
That sounds so creepy. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, I can't hear what he's.
He's just laughing. He's like, I don't know.
But isn't that weird that like when we wanted to talk about angels, like you couldn't hear anything? Like that's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. It's like we heard like ghosts and demon stories and stuff of like.
Interesting.
I want to hear.
You might need to restart the
Try your phone.
thing.
Because I want to hear this story. I think.
Yeah.
If it's being disrupted, it's got a lot of use. So we should try your phone if you can hear us, Steve, or try like someone else's phone, or like if you your wife's phone or something.
Close all the apps and start it over and see if maybe that helps.
Whatever. No, it's happened earlier too. Whatever device you're using, you need a different device. I think. Brother. It's not your internet. It's you're flowing. The screen is flowing. Just the audio's not. So it's got to be the device.
Yeah.
And he tried headset and no headset, but no. I mean, that's kind of interesting that like try to come back on the other device, Steve. But no, it's kind of interesting that like when you're trying to talk about like angels,
yeah,
it just completely messes up, and I'm stones up one out for like the fourth time for that. But it's just like, that's just weird that's like it's like kind of bizarre. I think that like that like.
You know, I noticed. So I watch a lot of different tarot readers, and like there's one in particular that's kind of like it's like watching a gospel. Like he's kind of like Christianish, but he's like doing tarot, but he talks a lot about angels and stuff. And like sometimes there is interference, and he'll even say something like, yo, there's either people watching that don't want this information to get out, or there's like spiritual beings that don't want this information to get out. And so there's some sort of interference. So it's interesting that you say that because I've definitely seen that happen before.
When you and Nikki Stern were talking about angels and stuff, he was commenting in the chat saying, he goes, Angel, but I have an alternative. And I'm like, no, that'd be a great story. And he goes, lots of stuff, but guardian angel. Like he was going to talk specifically about his guardian angel.
Interesting.
That's what I'm waiting on. So I hope.
Well, I know that there's like, so from what I've learned, it's like there's okay.
No, still doing the same thing. Try a different device. He was like, I think it's important. I want to hear this.
Well, he's using a different. Okay, in the settings, there's like something for the microphone. Maybe because it looks like you're wearing an actual microphone on your headset.
But he was doing the same thing no matter what. Like he took it off and was doing the same thing with both of them. And we can't hear him, so it's like. Because I turn the sound off. Well, that's like bizarre. I mean, I think that's really bizarre. Like he wants to tell a story about a guardian angel, and like you can't. Like signals on. Yeah, that's just a weird. I don't know what to call that. It's like he's saying help out. If you listen to Steve, basically he's trying a different device. Try with your phone or something.
Okay.
Frankie should be here in a sec for the weather. But,
Okay.
Try phone or device. And yeah, we'll do what they call stall. You know, we'll do several stall tactics until Steve.
Okay.
We're gonna bring out a dancing dog with fireworks for our next.
Look, I found one.
They're all perfect. I guess it wasn't planned at all.
Look at this scruffy dog. Okay, Boo Boo, tell us about the ghosts. Tell us, where are they?
I
What
think
do you want from us? Huh?
Wait. Hey,
What
Becky,
do you want from us?
I don't think Becky knows she's on live right now. There we go.
Make your mic's off. Oh, hold on, my sister's locked out.
I muted myself. I did, so I wouldn't say something and accidentally get
Oh, thanks.
get a cuss word on live or something, because that would be fucking awful.
Yeah, we're trying to get a story
Okay.
about it.
Over.
That's like figuring out what's going on. I don't know, trying to get his thing working.
So from what I've understood about angels is that everyone has like one assigned guardian angel, but they're not the same as archangels are like a different rank. There's like different rankings of angels. And there's archangels, which are like really powerful. And then there's like guardian angels that everyone's assigned based on their birthday. But that's pretty much all I know about guardian angels.
It's still like high pitched, like chipmunk sound, like it's not working. So
Damn. Oh.
it doesn't make sense that it's the internet though. Just use a different phone or something. Maybe like. I can't hear you.
Mouth, should I try to interpret what he's saying by reading his lips?
Read some lips, yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I just feel like his mouth.
Talking, Nikki's gonna be here.
Well, he's muted now. He's muted now.
The angels are trying to communicate. I have no idea what he's trying to say.
Try it now, Steve. Nope. Still squeaky.
That's why it's fucked.
He's like, fuck.
It's speeding his voice up somehow. That's a speed up. Like
someone's like mixing a fucking like a record. They're like scratching a record, like wiggy wiggy wiggy.
Like he's trying to talk about angels and his audio is being messed up. It's just really bizarre. Yeah, it's condensing everything you say like a chipmunk, like Alvin and Chipmunk kind of voice. Like,
oh fuck.
No, Steve's awesome. Try a different device. Try a different phone or something if you can hear me. Come back in with a different phone maybe or something. But that's crazy. No, I have the same thing. I got a laptop and a phone running. It's like it happens all the time. Like, I give me like streams and stuff. You gotta have you gotta watch out for them. Telling angels. Like the universe doesn't want
fallen angels.
Yeah. I don't know. So what? What'd you think of the story? Nikki's story earlier. What'd you think of that, Becky?
Pretty wild. You know, I've had experiences kind of similar. My best friend, was killed when I was 20 in a drinking and driving accident, and I had her visit dreams of mine. That again, I wouldn't have believed that she did, and except for they were prophetic, and they ended up coming true. So, if that didn't happen, then definitely I would have not believed that it had happened.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think demons are really like I feel so much negativity around me all the time and stuff. Like it's just like crazy. Like
Well, you've had your own experience with demons.
No, several, yeah.
Yeah, same.
I was going to say, we need to hear your story.
Which one, him or me?
You go first.
Okay. Well, I used to be addicted to speed and fentanyl, and like I had some crazy shit.
Two ends of the spectrum there.
So I think that's where I got it from. Is why I even bring it up. Is because I think that's where this came from. Was like hanging around such low vibrational people, doing super low vibrational things that opened me up to these negative spiritual beings. And like I I started noticing, like, I started seeing like shadow figures. I started hearing footsteps. I saw something similar to what she described, was like a floating face. It looked like it was made from light, but it was like an angry guy's face. Like, he did not look happy. Like, and like I would just be really scared, and I started noticing myself having really bad anxiety. I'd had social anxiety that I never had before, where like just interacting with people became really uncomfortable and hard for me. And like I felt like almost like this thing was like on my back. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it would just make me super tense. And like when I would feel its energy, like especially if I was like fighting with someone or like really scared, if I was like, you know, up for days and started like, you know, tripping out, like I would feel it more intensely. Like it was feeding off of I felt like it was fucking with my mind to try to scare me, to feed off of my negative energy. And like it feel it more intensely, like it became stronger the more upset I would get. And like I started trying to use crystals and like different things to get rid of it. And there were a couple times where I remember one time in particular, I was carrying a bunch of crystals, and it was like someone came up and just knocked it out of my hand, but like this way, because they went flying up in the air. And whatever it was pushed me down to the ground, because I fell like immediately. Like there was nothing I even tripped on. Like I could feel this thing push me down to the ground. And I started screaming, and there were a couple people there watching. And like I felt like anytime, it was almost like it was smart enough to know that like anybody I was with, a lot of times people wouldn't believe me. And so when this would happen, they would think I was putting on some sort of show for attention. And I'd be like, didn't you guys see that? Like, what the fuck? And sometimes they'd be like, okay, that was fucking what the fuck. But other times they would be like, okay, you're just doing that for attention. And it would make me even more upset, because I'm like, I just went through some traumatic shit, and like people think I'm crazy on top of it. So it really started to make me question my own sanity, which almost terrified me even more, which just kind of created this spiral of like negative self feelings. And like it just kept feeding off of this negativity. Like it was playing mind games with me the whole time. And it would always do shit like this when there were people around. I mean, it would do it when people weren't around, but it was like, it would fuck with me extra when people were there, because it knew I would try to not let people know, because I didn't want them to think I was insane. You know what I mean? But like, you're
like, didn't you just see what I just saw?
Right. And so like, I also feel like because I have spiritual gifts, like I'm just more sensitive to it. So some people really wouldn't see it or hear it, but only I would. And so I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, like what's wrong with me? Like for a long time, I thought I was crazy, until like someone was staying with me and they started experiencing the same stuff. They started seeing the same things. Like, and so I was like, okay, maybe I'm not totally like losing my fucking mind, you know?
Yeah.
And like, one time in particular, my sister's ex-boyfriend, like now current ex-boyfriend, we were all partying, and he was like really like kind of in and out of like being blacked out. And like out of nowhere, he went from being totally incoherent to like someone else, like he was being possessed by this entity. And like his eyes went black, and he looked at me, and he's like, you're a fucking slut, and just starts punching me in the face repeatedly. And we were just having a normal conversation, like totally normal, like, you know? And then like he starts hitting me, and he stops, and he kind of comes to, and he's like, what's going on? And I told him, had no recollection of what was happening, and was like horrified at what I had just said. And then moments later, he snapped back into like this other, it was like a different personality that was like, he was like straight up being possessed. Like I've never experienced anything like this, but I was with a couple of people. So we were all like, you know, high as fuck, and like still just, what is happening right now? Like, what the fuck? And he started getting violent again. And so we pushed him out of my front door and like locked my door. And he lived in the back with my sister right behind me. So he disappeared for like maybe 20 minutes. And I was like, bro, I just got this really bad feeling. I'm like, I don't know what that was, but like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know. Like, I just had this impending doom feeling. Like my intuition was like, get the fuck out of there. And like, he comes back, and like, he's like dressed up. Like he like went home and like put on his nicest outfit. and then showed up with a baseball bat and was like, this was like out of a scary movie, honestly. He was like,
Yeah.
like, open the door. I just want to talk. And I'm like, bro, you're freaking me out. Why do you have a baseball bat? Like, and my front door is like basically a big panel of glass. And he's like, if you don't let me in, I'm going to bust through the door. And I'm like, bro, you're really freaking me out. Like, please, like, what is going on? Like, I'm trying to like communicate with him, but it was like I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to someone completely different. And like,
there's no reasoning with him. You don't know him, you know?
Exactly. And it was like, I don't know, like he was trying to convince me to come out. And I'm like, bro, like you just got violent with me and you have a baseball bat. Like, you know, and my friends and I were terrified. And so I was like, yo, let's go in my room and lock the door and like fucking, I don't know, because moments later he started like hitting my door with the baseball bat, and he basically broke in through my front door and like chased my friends and I into my bedroom, and we were like pushing like a huge dresser against my door, and there's like, it's like me and two other guys, and somehow he's still able to like able to open the fucking door. And mind you, like maybe 10 minutes prior, he was like so blacked out he couldn't walk, you know? And so it was like this crazy PCP, like super strength that like I still can't understand, you know? And like my friends and I, we opened my bedroom window and we each started jumping out one by one, trying to keep the doors shut, because we're just like, at that point, we're like scared for our lives, you know? Like he has a fucking baseball bat. And like, I'm on the phone with 911 and I'm calling them and I'm like, oh my God, I'm telling them what's going on. And like, we just book it. I don't even know what direction we went in. We just fucking ran. And like, when the cops came, they went looking for him and they couldn't find him anywhere. He was just totally nowhere to be seen. Like was here 10 minutes prior and was just poofed into thin air. And like, you know, we're trying to explain to them what happened, and they're looking at the front door and there's glass everywhere. And like, and they're like, we don't know what to tell you. And like, I mean, I was terrified, you know, like, and my friends and I, we went back to my house and we locked the door, and like hours later, he comes stumbling back, completely incoherent, could barely walk or even speak, and has no memory or recollection of what happened. And I'm like, yo, is it you? I'm like, is it you? I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck. And he's like,
is this really you?
Like, all just nonchalant, like, what? Like, what's wrong? Like, and I'm like, bro, like, you're just trying to murder me and my friends, like,
right?
And
I would have died.
He just couldn't, like, even at, like, you know, the whole next day, he was like mind fucked over this because he couldn't understand like how he could have done that, and like had no memory of it, you know. And we just all kind of came to the conclusion that he was being possessed, because I was already having like demon issues prior, like, you know. And then like that happened and I felt like, yo, that was definitely some demonic shit. Like there's no other way to really explain, like, and I guess I get people get like do crazy shit when they're blacked out, but like kind of like that one guy was saying, he was like, oh, when you're blacked out it's because you're being possessed when you're fucked up. And like I really do believe that because I witnessed it firsthand, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, it was terrifying.
No, it definitely sounds like somebody like jumped in for a second, man.
Totally. It was like I was dealing with someone completely different that I didn't even know.
Too, and then when you describe the eyes, it's always an eyelid thing too. I see that.
The eyes.
Yeah, and like
creepy.
I've seen through like insecurity in people too. Like I was at like a waffle place. And this one's not as crazy or anything, but I was at like a waffle place and I was like just hyping the guy up. Everybody that he was doing all the work and stuff. I saw this guy just do all the work, and I'm like kind of just being like, dude, like you should run this company, man. Like what the fuck, dude? Like I mean, you got CEO vibes, man. He's like literally running the entire thing, but he's like socially probably kind of like was kind of not confident. And he goes, and he said some weird shit whenever like I was like signing my check or signing my receipt for my debit card or whatever. He was just like, I was like, he's like, he said something like, all I need is your soul or something like that, and like handed me the receipt. And I was just like, that's weird. And then I was just like,
pardon me. Pardon.
I'm paraphrasing. I don't know how he said this. I don't remember exactly how he said this. But he like told me nobody would be at my funeral, and I just thought that was a weird thing to say to me. I was like hyping this guy up. I'm like, man, you're like doing a great job here at this place of business. You know, you should be like running your own company. Like, and then he like demonically insults me or something, and like I've been up for. I don't know. I've been up for a couple of days partying probably at that point, but it still was like it still happened though. I feel like, you know. Like it was like
That's
weird.
when you don't sign your name, just sign like an X.
I just never sign anything. It's all circles.
That's
There
so
you go.
weird.
Yeah, I never. Everything's void.
That
It's
is
like,
very odd.
yeah. It was at there's a place like Waffle House. It's called something else out here, like Huddle House. It was called a Huddle House, and this guy was just like, it was so weird, and I remembered that, like it was just like a bizarre interaction. And I felt like somebody was like possessed for a second.
Yeah.
So I play off like basic like fears that aren't even real to me. Like I don't care who comes to my funeral. What a weird thing to do. It's like
You're like, I'll be
it's-
fucking dead. You think
Yeah,
I
it's
give a
like-
fuck?
I don't know. It's not like, you know what I mean? I hope it's not like I hope my funeral gets the most likes or whatever. It's a little weird thing to say to me. It's just like a weird.
We'll live stream it.
Yeah, yeah. That's when people really started watching the podcast when I die. Yeah. That's when the numbers really pick up. But no, it's just it was a weird thing to say, and I've seen like other things too. Like I've seen it like in people like just shit talking Jesus. Like it's like you see this darkness in them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like it's all around. It's that spiritual battle. Like our souls are super valuable because everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Right.
I do believe that though, because I feel like I get spiritually attacked a lot just because I have spiritual gifts, or I don't know exactly why, but like sometimes I feel like certain family members of mine have like dark passengers or demon attachments, whatever you want to call it, and sometimes like demons will like I'll irritate people's demons because I'm like so much light and spirituality, and like I basically sometimes activate people spiritually without even realizing it because of everything I talk about and things I experience. And it will irritate people's demons. And like my certain family members specifically will say really fucked up shit. And I'll have to like learn to be like, okay, you know what? Probably not even them saying that. It's probably like, whatever it is that's trying to fuck with me through them. You know what I mean? Like having to realize that like, it's not even them, or like, it's not even personal. It's just an energetic thing. I'm just triggering people or some shit. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt about Andrew at Huddle House, like 100%. I felt like it was just you just yelling at me through something. The universe is just trying to yell at me. I'm just like.
Did you just say he was Andrew at Huddle House?
I remember his name.
Is it a name now?
His name was legit Andrew. I remember that now. Like I remember.
You just put him on blast.
I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Somebody find Andrew at Huddle House. Yeah.
Yeah, if Andrew from Huddle House is watching, you're
If
the
you're
best
watching,
I've
bro,
ever
we
seen.
know what the fuck's up, bro. Like, we
guy was
see
out
you,
with-
bro.
The guy was out working everybody, man. Like he was killing it.
Poor guy. He probably has no idea. He's like, wait, what? Like,
yeah.
I should have
Yeah,
left. It
he's
was in Cuba, Missouri. Andrew from Huddle House in Cuba, Missouri. To make it
his
more.
zip code is 95873, and his fucking social is.
That's
Blood type O positive.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I've seen it in other things too. Like I've seen like I don't know. I think I had a lot of darkness in me. I think I still kind of do sometimes. And I think I'm like I don't know, man. And like I feel like just the world's crazy right now. Like I feel like we're about to go into like a world war for like fevered egos. And like there's some like I'm just like I can't even like pretend this is real.
You know what's really sad that I learned about today that I just want to like send prayers to right now is Israel. They were like attacked by terrorists, and like a bunch of kids at a music festival were like innocently brutally murdered and kidnapped. And like I mean they've been going back and forth. Israel and Jerusalem have been fighting for a long time, but like it was just like this surprise attack that happened that I learned about today, and I thought it was so sad because all these innocent kids and like women and shit were being like brutally raped and murdered, and I was just like so grateful to be in America where that's not happening. And like I know we complain about America, but it's like fuck, like I can't. I go to festivals all the time. I cannot imagine being in a music festival, being all fucked up on acid or some shit, and then paratroopers coming in from the sky and start murdering everybody. Like that is like.
They have Americans, hostage, and I think they're killing them at this point. But they said there's over 800 dead, I think, at this point, and there was 40 babies found, and some were
I heard about the babies.
So,
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
very
know there were
sad.
Americans over there. I was.
Yeah, very, very sad.
That's
Super
even worse
sad.
than happening to Americans, like it's even worse. But no, I'm just fucking. But no, it's like I mean, basically, man, everybody's about to die. I mean, this is like pulling so many allies and shit. Like, I mean, we're just. I mean, this is terrible because, like, I mean, we're like they expect like America to like be everybody's like big brother when they do all this shit talking. When they like come here and like all right, don't beat them up, guys. Like we're gonna waste like we're just gonna throw generations of giraffes at these people. It's insane. It's insane, and like I hope it doesn't go to World War, and I hope that everybody just grows the fuck up and stop killing each other. It's like. You know what I mean? It's like I'm pretty sure God doesn't want you killing anybody. So if you are obedient to God, be
especially in the name of God, which is crazy. Like people are still dying over religion, which just blows my mind because it's like you just don't get God, do you? Like,
like one of the 10 rules. It's like
what's going on in your head?
No matter what false religion you are, like it says don't kill. So like either the.
Well, I think that was actually a mistranslation. It does say "do not murder" in the original Syrian.
Fair, but I say war is murdering still, so they're still fucking.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity to defend yourself at least.
And I don't put in this, but I feel like if paratroopers came to Missouri, they'd be shot out of the sky, like immediately. And Missouri would just be like, "What the fuck?" and just like shoot them out of the fucking sky immediately. Just like.
I don't think that they would make it to Missouri. I'm pretty sure they'd hit the coast of Virginia or West Virginia or South Carolina, Georgia, any of those Appalachian towns and gone. Those folks have lived hard for
when
centuries.
Everyone has a gun, like
right.
You don't fuck with those people.
Good luck. We run on gun and moonshine out here. You're not getting past us.
Yeah.
The ironic moment of the show is that we're all gonna be ghosts in 6 months because of World War III.
Oh God, don't say that.
Like we're starting out right now. We're talking about the already dead, and then we'll be.
If anything, we'll be half AI. We'll be like part robot over being like completely just gone. You know what I mean?
I feel like it'll like just be me left, and everybody else will just like kill themselves by accident because they're all really dumb. And I just feel like I was just like not paying attention for a second, and I just like look around like everybody's dead. I'm just stuck here.
I think that's the fourth horseman. We're only on the second, so slow down a little bit.
Would being the last person alive be worse than like being a ghost stuck in some house for eternity?
For sure.
The last person alive would rule for like 2 weeks, probably though. You just do whatever the fuck you
rule
want.
Rule over what? You have to rule over somebody. You can't just rule.
You just drive around. No, I just mean like I feel like you just have like no accountability. And you just drive around, do whatever you want, stop and traffic. No, you don't know anything.
Like it'd be like Grand Theft Auto, but in real life.
Anthony's just gonna go around just running stop signs like "fuck yeah, motherfuckers."
Fuck you, your stop sign, motherfucker.
I do that now.
Here's your laws.
I do that now. But I don't know. So what? Okay, we're still talking about ghosts. We got to bring ghosts back up, I guess, right? There's like 2,000 people watching this right now.
Yeah, a little over.
It's good. So anyone in the comments have any ghost stories? You can tell us over several sentences in the comments. Your ghost story.
We'll read them aloud for you.
Yeah, we should have Frankie at some point to tell us the world's weather. So, there he is, actually.
Is there dog? Hi.
Hi, Anthony. I'm doing great so far. I have made it.
What was that, brother?
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Rebecca. It's Frankie now. I'm doing great.
Hi, Frankie.
Hi. How are you? How's the weather? Oh, hold on.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Anthony.
Yo.
Hi, Frankie. Tell us about the weather, Frankie.
What weather you got today, brother?
I'll just start eating this burrito right now. Here's my start eating this.
We're supposed to, later on this week, supposed to get a lot of severe thunderstorms. A lot of rain all across Iowa, Nebraska, and all these places. And lots of thunderstorms in Missouri and southern states.
Crazy, man. A lot of thunderstorms this week. Wait, what? Is that what you said? Here in Missouri?
Later on in the week, lots of rain in Missouri and thunderstorms all across southeastern United States. Lots of rain going on in Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, and all these places, Dakotas, and Kansas, and all these places.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Did you hear about my new video, Facts About the Halloween Night 2023?
What's it about?
You have to wait and see.
Oh, shit. Anticipation, okay.
Nice plug, yeah. I'll check it out.
He's the best.
Frankie's always on his
He's
cell.
the best at plugging his own shit. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
couldn't do it any better. Like I really
No,
couldn't.
he's the best hype.
I love it.
Oh, so anything else we should know about the weather? Like anybody else? What's going on this week?
That's the fact about the highlight. I just sent the link.
Wait, you did what? Wait, what happened?
I don't know. The world is ending. We're all gonna die. What else is fucking new, right? Like,
You sent me a link. Where, brother? What was that on Instagram or something?
And did you get the linkable facts about the Halloween night? I did that video on Monday night.
No, I'm trying to find it though. Where'd you send it?
To chat on StreamYard.
I don't see the chat. Oh, duh, yeah, I got you, brother. Sorry. I don't know, man. Sorry, it takes me a second.
I'm saying.
All right, got it. And
My sister.
Hi, Rebecca. I'm doing great. I just did the latest video last night. Facts about the Halloween night 2023.
I saw it. I saw you put it in the chat. I'm going to have to check that out.
Coming up right now.
Okay, here we go.
Here's my facts about the Halloween 2023. During the Halloween night in 2023 on Tuesday, October 31st. When the people go trick-or-treating and kids go trick-or-treating, you'll be real careful there. They'll be dressing up as ghosts, goblins, superheroes, pumpkins, and things like this. They can dress up as Frankenstein's, vampires, Draculas. They can dress up as...
Oh my goodness.
I love it. Those are facts.
Vampires, and all the scary costumes like Frankenstein's, vampires, Draculas, things like this. And superheroes and sports players like hockey players, baseball players, doctors, lawyers, football players, basketball players, and things like this. They can dress up as construction workers. They can dress up as a lot of trained professionals on Halloween 2023. And it's going to be a great Halloween, but be very careful. Don't go roaming in the streets during Halloween because the bad kids could be smashing pumpkins and things like this. Because there could be a lot of bad kids out there in Halloween 2023. Be real careful out there. I urge everyone to take caution and do trick-or-treating. Watch out for bad kids. Don't go near those bad kids smashing pumpkins and things like this in Halloween 2023.
That's that real advice.
They'll be getting candy and chocolate bars and things like this and chips and things like this and soda on the Halloween 2023. So is shoes and things like this when they go trick-or-treating, when the kids go trick-or-treating in Halloween 2023.
That's a little bit of the new video that Frankie just dropped today.
Nice.
What are you going to go for? You dressing up as Halloween for?
I'll be doing vampire videos, me dressing up as a vampire in my YouTube videos about vampire things like this. I'm working on it. And if you're here with this, lots of rain in southeastern United States and central states later this week.
Nice.
Awesome.
Do vampires like rain?
Vampires don't like the sun and daylight.
So rain is okay. They're like, whatever.
Rain's good.
Vampires are weak against fire and holy.
Onion rain.
Onion rain.
Or garlic rain, my bad.
Garlic rain. Oh, no, onions, garlic.
Vampires are weak against garlic. They weak against holy and fire.
That's crazy. So, what should I be for Halloween, man?
You could dress up. You could dress up as
a cowboy.
A cowboy.
Like one of those old-timey cowboys from like the old cowboy movies, the black and white ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my costume this year. What should everybody else be, Frankie? What should everybody else dress up as?
Nikki, go dress up as a fairy.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
Nice, yeah.
Love that.
All right, what's my costume, Frankie? Any ideas for me?
Rebecca could dress up as a nurse.
Perfect.
I love that.
It just auto-generated all of our costumes for Halloween, and like,
Yep.
and it's good. I think I'm gonna go as a cowboy now. I think you said. I think you.
I think we have to now.
It's been said. It's been said that our
It's been
costumes.
said. Written in stone.
As it has been said, as it shall be done.
Like, now it has to happen.
It's true, man. Where are you at right now, Frankie?
I'm down Charlotte Street in Sydney. How the progress of Charlotte Street reconstruction going?
Nice.
Nice. Well, I can see the stars in the background.
Yeah.
What's the weather like in Japan this week?
Lots of rain coming out, lots of storms coming off the coast of Japan lately, and down in Australia to bring lots of rain and wind in New Zealand too, because the southern hemisphere spring they're bringing hail in southeastern Australia because it's their severe weather season. At this time of the year, it's southern hemisphere spring in Australia.
It's crazy, man. What about Spain?
Lots of nice weather in Spain and lots of rain at the same time, and lots of rain here for England. Snow up in the mountains of Norway.
Who has the nicest weather right now?
What?
Who has the nicest weather?
Southern California is causing Santa Ana winds right now.
Good guess.
That's about right. Like 75 degrees every freaking day.
Right. That's why the real estate's so expensive.
And I got something to say. Professional photographer John Rashford took professional photos of me back on September 26th.
Nice.
It's now being released today.
Let's pull them up. Let's pull them up and see if we can find them real fast. Both the I can't talk right now. I can't do my only job. Hang on.
Words are hard, bro.
Yeah.
Words are hard. Like,
All right. Hang on. We'll pull Freezy photo shoot. Okay. There we go. Hang on. I think I found a bunch. You got a bunch of them, bro. Hang on.
oh, we're all flipping our cameras over. Yeah.
I mean, my phone died, so it's plugged in now, but I don't think mine's going to flip. I think mine's just staying upside down.
This is Frankie's photo shoot, most famous weatherman on Earth probably right now, I'd say. Who took these photos, dog?
John Rashford, a professional photographer from North Sydney, Nova Scotia. He drove all the way from North Sydney to Open Air Park in Sydney, Nova Scotia to take pictures of me on September 26th.
Aw,
These are
that's
good, man.
awesome.
That's a good one.
Aw. Hell yeah.
That looks like a Windows background, like a Windows XP background. Like,
It does, yeah.
It does.
got that vibe. Well, that's crazy, man. That's some professional stuff, man. Yeah. Well, congrats on the new photos, man. That's cool, dude.
Love it. Love it.
John Rashford is the one that took professional photos of me on September 26th.
So look him up.
Nice, man.
John Rashford.
Do you drink it all, Frankie?
I drank Pepsi tonight.
You drink alcohol at all, Frankie?
Things are great so far.
Do you drink alcohol ever?
No.
Okay, you're always look. I was wondering, it's like you're always like you're partying. You're always out. You're always out with a bunch of people.
He's always raging. He's just out raging every time.
Yeah, I guess so. He says it without drinking. That's awesome, man. I wish I had that.
Got an abundant social life.
You'll see him on Twitter, like tag with all, like he just has pictures of like girls like every single.
Did you hear about a new social media, Blue Sky?
What's that, homie?
Blue Sky, that's Twitter before Elon Musk took over.
Him on Twitter?
That's the Twitter before Jack Dorsey left.
Okay.
Cool, man. Was there anything else you want to throw out there before we get back into ghost stories? Did you got a ghost story?
Then that means a ghost means, and when a person dies, their soul is floating around like a ghost means. When a person dies, the soul leaves the body. Means it's a ghost, like a deceased person.
Okay. Have you ever seen one?
I never seen a ghost. Period.
Have you ever seen
Fuck him too. Fuck those ghosts, motherfucker. Like, period. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a demon? Hey Frankie, have you ever seen a demon before?
I never seen none of them before.
None of them. That's all I was just wondering, man. That's cool. Just wondering. Well, anything else you want to share before we get back into the ghost stories, or what?
If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECDON. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie Down. Best of luck to you. I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to Anthony Rogers Show.
Yeah. You fucking nailed
Awesome,
that.
Frankie.
Fucking nailed that. Like.
That's good, man. Like, it's a full-time job following Frankie, man. He's like, got like 20 different social. Like, I'm gonna have to take off work tomorrow to follow Frankie. Well, I told him I would. I gotta sit here and follow him on 20 different things. I gotta take off work tomorrow. So sorry.
He's got more social media than my 16-year-old.
That's awesome. He's the most famous weatherman that's ever existed, probably, dude.
For sure.
Like, numbers wise, I don't think there's a more famous weatherman right now.
That means that tomorrow I'll be on the Compound Media in Hot Water Show.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Check it out.
That's awesome.
Then on tomorrow night, I'll be on Ham Radio with Eddie Fanaco.
Dude, nice, man. It's awesome, man. I wish you nothing but success, brother. I hope you just keep getting richer and more famous and everything, brother. Like, I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Like, it's definitely great, man. I love that dude. Like, I saw him on Tosh.0, I think, originally. I think that's where I originally saw him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's like been a cool. I mean, he's just super cool. Does weather every week and stuff. I mean, he's pretty on point, man. I really,
yeah.
I appreciate that. He knows the weather everywhere, man. I'm just like, I don't even.
I know that's wild. You're just throwing out places, and he knew it.
Yeah.
I also don't look up if it's true though either. So just to make sure, I don't.
Could all be lies.
Dude, I bet he knows. He sells it at least. I believe him.
We sell it. The confidence. You can sell anything with confidence.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I. He seems like a used car salesman, but he's like huge. He has that like energy, like in a good way. He's just gonna pull down no matter what, and just like be like, and just like be himself, man. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
He's never seen a ghost or a demon though. They stay the fuck away from Frankie. Dude. I don't know. Have you seen him on Tosh.0, Becky?
No, I don't get the chance to watch too much TV, so.
Oh, this was back in the day. I don't even watch that shit either anymore. Like, I can't. I don't even know if that's on TV anymore. I'm old. I mean, like, that was like years ago.
Back in the day, I was running my kid to softball practice and soccer practice, and now she's grown up. I don't have to do all that. So now maybe I'll start watching.
Yeah.
It gets old, honestly. You go through all the TV shows, and then you're just like, now what do I do with my life? Like,
yeah.
Like, fuck.
My to-be read pile is too large for me to really turn on the TV and be cool with it. So I got to get through those books first.
So this is I can't believe we have 2,000 people watching this right now. This is a weird feeling.
You said you only have 2,000?
No, it's a weird feeling being watched like this. Like, I'm just like smoking in front of old license plates. Then I'm just like, I wonder if people like look up these license plates or whatever. I was like, just overthinking everything. Like,
you never know. Someone was telling me that like you should be careful about the videos you post outside because now you can use AI to like basically kind of almost like reverse engineer, figure out where it is you're at. And I definitely have a couple of like stalker-ish people. I was like, whatever, like, I'm not that important. Like, who the fuck's gonna give a shit about where I'm at? You know what I mean? And then, like, I started being like, you know what? Some of these stalker people are kind of creepy. Like, if they did find out where I lived, like, I don't know. Maybe they would try to find me. Like, fuck. So then I started being more careful about what I posted because I'm like, You don't
have to worry about it until one day you run for president.
There you go.
If I had a stalker,
that'll be next year, just so everyone knows.
I would like stalk my stalkers, like just like more aggressively. like if somebody was stalking me, I just like they'd be at my house. I'd show up at their house. I'd be like inside.
You gonna stalk me? I'll stalk you.
I'm like, yeah, you're really interesting. Just hand them a reverse card, like the Uno card when they walk in their house. Just be like, Here you go. Here's a reverse card.
Oh my god. But would they find that flattering because they're just as like they're obsessed with you? So they'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm being stalked by Anthony Rogers." Did you know that? Like they would just be like bragging to everybody. You know?
I feel like
They should.
Anthony takes off the hat
They
and
fucking should,
his
you know?
hair, his beard scares anybody anyway.
Say that again.
He takes off the hat and Anthony's gonna immediately be scarier than any stalker anyway.
You should make like a bit, like a skit of like you just stalking people and like you just being like appearing from like behind a wall, just like.
It's like it's like stalk your own fans. Like I just stalk my fans before they stalk me. You know.
POV being stalked by Anthony Rogers, and it's just like you like lurking behind like people. They're like, "Did you see that? What was that? It looked like an old timey cowboy." I don't know. I'm kind of scared. Like, what the fuck?
Charles Manson like break into people's house and like move everything like 4 feet. Like creepy.
Oh my god.
Remove all the batteries from everything in the house. Just to
crazy.
focus on them, like, what the fuck? Like, you see their TV remote. Like,
Yeah. One way to piss me off, just move the smallest things around just slightly, and oh man, I'd be pissed.
People are sitting watching while they're driving right now. I'm like, so someone texted me to tell me that they're watching while they're driving.
Can you just?
I think they posted it in the chat too.
Drive.
Yeah, someone texted, no, Danny said that in the chat, and then someone texted me that. And then David Landolt said he's a big fan of you, Becky. He's like, he's texting. He goes, what did he say? I'll read it. Dave Landolt's listening. He's like, hey, I love Becky. She's amazing. That was awesome. Becky's one of my favorite ladies.
Oh,
that's cool. Thanks, Dave.
David Landolt.
We went to school with Dave.
No, yeah.
Well, the 1 year you went to school with me.
Dave's in comedy shows too. Like.
Yeah.
So next week we have like rock stars telling ghost stories. So
badass.
We have a guy from like Orgy and Edema. He plays in both those bands, and then a guy from Blue October. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. This is peak high school dreams.
Yeah.
Like I'm making up for not doing anything in high school or with my life the last 40 years. We're gonna have rock.
It definitely makes up for it. Fuck it.
This one's good too. We got a lot of good stories in there. I mean, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
We did. Poor Steve.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve trying to tell a story about an angel who can't even talk. I mean, that's crazy.
Right.
Ah.
What do you think about Halloween being the veil being lifted and more ghosts being around?
Is that like a spiritual? I mean, I know the veil is being lifted,
thing, right? The veil is lifted, and us in the spiritual world are
been lifting. Though, is it supposed to be like officially completely lifted after Halloween? Or
I don't know. I think that's what they say for every Halloween, right? The spiritual world and our realm is more together.
Yeah, it's All Hallows Eve. It's like this was based on. It's like this thing where like the souls can talk to like whatever. Supposedly. Yeah, I don't know. I mumbled that. It made more sense in my head before I started talking. I feel like I knew.
All I know is I love passing out candy. We pass out those king size candy bars. We love to big league the neighbors, you know.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm gonna do that in the suburbs. I think I want to pass out candy this year. I don't even have kids. I have empathy for them. You know, I was a fat kid, so I give out the karma. You know, just like give out the fat kid karma.
I just remember my mom saying, "There's razor blades in the food, in the fucking. If you take an apple from someone, there's razor blades." And I'm like, Jesus, that is some maniacal fucking shit. Like,
I remember our parents telling us that and saying, "Oh, we have to inspect your candy before you go through it and eat it and stuff." And then my daughter, you know, she turned 4, finally was, you know, old enough to trick or treat. I was like, "Oh, we've got to go through your candy and inspect it." My dad started laughing. He's like, we did that so that we could take all the candy that we wanted out of your bag first. He goes, nobody's doing that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Nobody's giving away free drugs and candy.
Right? I mean, people don't like giving away free drugs in general. Like, what would they fucking like?
Dare taught us wrong. I was told, you know, I was gonna walk down the street and somebody was gonna say, "Hey, you want some free drugs?" Never happened.
Maybe if you're like in Skid Row. Like,
I guess I'm just in the wrong area, the suburbs of St. Charles.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. You want some candy, little girl?
Sure.
That's
Gotta
gotta
Are
be
there
like
drugs in it? Only if there's drugs in it.
kids.
Exactly.
Like, that's crazy. I wish I could trick or treat still. I wish I could go around and not be creepy. I need to bring a niece or a nephew so I look less creepy.
So you can
I'm just like a
freeload off of the fact that they're a kid.
I was gonna say you've looked creepy since 13, Anthony. You're not gonna get away from it.
True. But no, I wish I could trick or treat still. That was like, I loved that shit as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that was like the best song.
Fuck it.
Everybody just give you candy. I was like a fat kid with a bowl cut. There's no better. Everyone just giving you candy. It's like, here you go.
Here you go. You're like, it's not even Halloween. They're like, yeah, but we know you wanted some.
We know you're not going on a diet anytime soon.
So funny. That's true.
Oh, I love it.
So
We,
funny.
I think we addressed a lot of things. I don't know. There's like a shit ton of people still watching for some reason, But thanks.
Hey, are there any stalkers out there?
Yeah.
Say, raise your hand if you're stalking us. Because we're going to stalk your ass. We're going to stalk your ass back.
Yeah.
If you want to stalk us, we need your address.
We need your address ASAP. You gotta submit an application to be a stalker, and that includes all of your information.
Oh, love it.
We have a lot of ghost stories. So what do you think of those demon stories? Those are probably real, right? Those are probably real.
Yeah, I don't know, all that shit. I think all that shit's real. I don't necessarily believe that like every spirit you're talking to is necessarily a demon. Like I've definitely had encounters with angels and shit, and it's just a different energy. Or even just like spirits, it's like you could just feel the energy. Like one energy is like gives you anxiety and makes you feel negatively, you know? And the other energy is like just, I don't know. Especially with angels, it's more like, and when I say angels, I don't necessarily mean spirits. I mean like actual like archangels or like higher vibrational beings. Like when I've had encounters with them, like they feel super powerful. They have this energy that's so much more powerful than like anything I've felt from a demon, where you could just tell it's like a higher vibrational energy that you can't really explain, but it just feels like different, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
The veil lifting, that's interesting. I feel so from what I've understood and like what I've learned in my spiritual journey is that we are slowly ascending into the 5th dimension, and like the veil is slowly starting to lift ever since like the age of Aquarius, which was like maybe a year or two ago. And like but I have noticed like anyone who does have spiritual gifts or who is starting to have spiritual gifts, it's like more, it's like
wow,
building,
Anthony.
you know?
Yeah, more prevalent for sure.
It's becoming
you had
thinner,
me
for
there
sure.
that whole time.
Do what?
You had me out of there that whole time.
Aww. She's like,
Was
when
I
do I get
supposed to
tagged
be-
back in? What the fuck?
I was like, is he gonna let me back in so I can talk too? No, I guess I'm just a extra.
So he put you in backstage, Nikki. At the same time, he just randomly adds me back in while I could have been picking my nose or anything.
It didn't have
Wow.
a video on Nick. It didn't have a video on Nikki, so I thought it was just audio. I tried to put
Oh shit, bro.
it was just
Yeah, well, because I didn't want to be added in without knowing, so I just had my video off until you were gonna add me back in.
Oh.
Oh damn, Anthony.
You whore.
Failure.
Look, he doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, where am I? You know what I mean?
I'm just listening to concerns. I don't know. What this
He's
is.
like staring at
Stop
his face like,
smoking the pumpkin.
I was gonna say you smoked too much pumpkin.
I was just listening to concerns, But welcome back.
I was like, all right, I'm just gonna check my emails till he lets me back in.
oh my god.
We're all back in back to the best cell phone podcast in the universe.
The best cell phone podcast in the universe.
True.
I do love that it's all done on cell phone. No professional
We're
cameras
so
here.
innovative, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
Am I allowed to drink on screen?
Yeah, do it.
As long as you're not 13, yes. It's only rolls the age thing.
Look, I brought a mic, but it's not plugged in or anything. It's just supposed to make me look like that's
Just
it.
there for aesthetics.
It doesn't even not even on like.
What's she drinking? Pickle? Is that?
She's got some of that Deep Eddy lime. Is that what that says?
Is that a
I don't even
pickle?
know what that is. Is that wine or is that what is it?
It's a flavored vodka.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I'm obsessed with key lime pie, and the lime reminds me of key lime, so it's like my favorite flavored vodka.
Aw.
Sweet.
It's probably so sweet. That should give me a hangover for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, anything with sugar in it
brought-
anymore, I can't do.
Yeah.
I can't have much sugar because I have inflammation issues.
Mm.
So if I have much sugar at once, it'll cause a lot of pain.
Damn.
But I don't know. I guess I feel like this doesn't have enough sugar that it really bothers me. Like if I were to drink like
The whole bottle, maybe.
cocktail- What's that?
So if you were to drink like the whole bottle, maybe then it would like.
Probably. Well, I took one of these to my friend's birthday party. It was the lemon one, and I was drinking it, and I ended up throwing up. And I'm like, I don't even feel like I drank that much. Like, am I like? What? I was like, what the hell is going on? Maybe I drank more than I thought I did.
That's usually how that goes. You know what I mean? Like, how many shots have I had? I don't fucking know. Enough. Why are you interrogating me, huh? Like,
Especially that stuff that tastes good. You just keep drinking it and drinking it.
yeah. Like, no idea.
Mhm. Speaking of, Anthony, I think is on his second pumpkin.
I just eat a lot of edibles. You
I want to get high. What the fuck?
How did this even turn on?
I got brain candy because I have severe brain damage, and so eating candy, it looks like brains makes me feel smart. I'm just kidding. It really doesn't. It just tastes good.
We found the zombie in the podcast. She's going for the brains.
They look like hamster brains.
They just look like hamster brains.
Maybe that's why I don't feel so smart. They're so small. Like, fuck. I'm like, these brains aren't doing shit. I go back to 7-Eleven. I'm like, these brains didn't do shit. They're like, what? No, I don't know where they're from. No idea.
So, ghosts, right? You were talking about ghosts.
we were talking about ghosts, yeah. I told you I have one story and it wasn't that good, so.
No, it was a good story. I was knocking the story. I was just going.
I've seen spirits. Like, I've seen some spirits. Like, sometimes when I listen to music, of someone who's deceased, like, I'll, like, see them or I'll, like, see their, like, I'll feel their energy, but I'll also, like, hear. I mean, again, it could be a demon. I have no fucking idea. Sounds like them talking, and then sometimes I'll actually get like almost like a translucent vision of like what they look like.
You ever smelled them?
On that
I've
note,
smelled my grandma.
Okay, no, like.
what was the hardest celebrity death for you guys?
It's Chris Cornell.
When Justine's grandpa died, I smelled him. Like I walked through the
Some of
hallway.
my grandma's perfume.
Yeah.
When I felt
Mine
like
was
when our
Katie
grandma
Groves.
passed. Go ahead. Sorry.
When the day Justine's grandpa died,
Mine was Katie Groves.
I'm not close enough, but, you know.
Who?
Katie Groves. She's not very well known.
I was like, I don't know. I don't think I know who that is.
She started like acoustic pop, and then she did like more upbeat poppy stuff, and then she started doing country, which was kind of weird. But I met her when I was like 14, and she's been one of my all-time singers for years. And yeah, she died like a couple years ago, and that was the hardest one for me.
Sorry. It was someone that you followed, and then like they passed, and it was like,
Yeah,
how,
like
how did
I
she
met
pass?
her alcohol poisoning.
Oh God, that's
Damn.
tragic. Fuck.
That's a painful way to go, too.
Yeah, and
Is it?
Is it a slow
what
process
even
or
makes
fast?
what makes it even sadder, her
don't know.
mom had 7 kids and 3 of them died.
Oh God.
What the
3
fuck?
for 7.
Maybe her family was cursed. Like literally, maybe they were
It's
cursed.
possible.
Nikki
actually
Serenity
possible.
bringing in the joy to the podcast. That is
I know.
brutally sad, girl. Brutally sad.
Fuck.
I'm just staying on topic, y'all. I can talk about whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amy Winehouse was sad. Little Peep was sad. Anyone who was just young and like died too soon, like Mac Miller and like all these talented people that. But then it makes me think like it almost makes me think is there some sort of synchronicity or like some sort of like deal they had, like sold contract they had coming into this life that they would live an incredible life, but it would be short. You know what I mean? Like they lived so intensely that they could only live a certain amount of time or something like that.
Christina
But so many
Grimmie.
people that were famous and had these incredible lives only lived to like 27, which is kind of a weird.
Do you know about
coincidence.
Christina Grimmie?
Tina Groupie?
Christina Grimmie.
Mm-mm.
She was 22. She got famous on YouTube. She went on The Voice. Like she made her own music. She was so talented. When she was 22, she was playing a show in Orlando, and after the show, one of her like a crazy fan shot her.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That was in like I think it was like 2016. But the way I found out, I literally woke up and then I went into my mom's room and she's like, "Hey, Christina Grimmie died." I'm like,
"Oh God."
Can my brain wake up first?
Right.
Stalkers.
I don't want to be woken up to that. Wow.
We were talking
I'm
about
not a morning
stalkers earlier.
I'm not a morning person. Don't be asking me questions or telling me bad news when I wake up.
Stalkers are like, yeah, they're kind of dangerous. That's why you gotta be careful.
Yeah, he was
when you post.
he was like one of those fans who's like, if we can't be together in this life, we'll be together in the
You,
next.
if I can't have you, no one can.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. Creepy. That's hella creepy. But what we were saying is like, so both of our grandparents passed this past year, and like my grandma used to always wear this really strong rose perfume, and sometimes when I feel her energy near me, like I'll smell her perfume really strong.
wow.
Like, sometimes I'll be like outside, and it's not like I'm smelling a rose. Like it has this like distinct smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also heard about like psychic smell. There's all sorts of ways you can receive information psychically, like through smelling, through also you can get psychic information in your mouth, like with taste, and then hearing, seeing, and feeling. But yeah, the smelling one is kind of interesting.
I don't know.
Both my sister and I experienced that.
Miss me on the mouth stuff. Like I don't want any psychic action happening in my mouth at all. I'm
like,
good.
What tastes like jizz? Like what the
right. Right, exactly. Like
you're like,
geez, the boyfriends have passed.
Why?
Anthony's just listening.
He's like, okay, I'm just gonna look down.
Well, I think we should get the fuck out of here. I think this show's gone on long enough.
Okay, cool.
We got people. Thanks for watching. If you're only one of the 1,000 people that are stuck with this cell phone podcast till the end, or people watching tomorrow, I appreciate it. And guests and sponsors and everybody. Thank you. I appreciate this. I'm gonna leave.
Go follow Nikki Serenity.
Bye.
Oh, okay.
Is everybody gone?
I guess so.
Well, I guess that's the end then. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Nice meeting you. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, likewise. Other Nikki. I love that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
All right. Well, I hope
again.
everybody has a good night, and I'm sending prayers and light to Israel right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still live. What? Yeah. Y'all go follow Nikki Serenity.
Should we just keep going, or I'm just kidding?
We probably can. It's like It says it's live.
2 hours deep. We're like, fuck it. Like, there's still people watching.
Y'all
Fucking
go follow
stalker
Nikki
ass motherfucker.
Serenity. Instagram, Nikki Serenity Artist. Facebook, Nikki Serenity ST. She said,
Nice.
yeah, people are commenting, it looks like.
That's so funny. Okay,
She
mine
said,
is
go follow
Nikki.
her.
Instagram is Nikki X Knightley. Twitter is Nikki Knightley. Snapchat is Nikki X Knightley. My YouTube is Nikki Knightley. Just Google my fucking name and it'll fucking pop up.
Yeah,
So.
I'm on pretty much all social media. Just look up Nikki Serenity. You'll be able to
Cool.
find me. My main ones
Okay.
are Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm
Cool.
trying to get my YouTube started.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Have a good
I
night.
guess we're leaving. Whoa, it's only me now. Y'all, comment if you can still see this. Okay, everybody. Okay, y'all. Nice talking with you. Go follow Nikki Serenity. Thank you.